Well, that concept art leaked the other day and everybody was up in arms. But it turns out it might have been a non-story. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about what Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars directors Joe and Anthony Russo had to say about the concept art, how it plays into their movie, and what it really means to us as fans. Well, this is one of those stories that is a great example of why you don't jump to too many conclusions. Now, if you remember recently, a ton of concept art was leaked from Marvel Studios. Actually, it was accidentally shared online, and in this collection of concept art, there appeared to be a lot of images depicting upcoming scenarios from Doomsday and Secret Wars. Now, to be fair, the artwork wasn't labeled with those titles for those films. It was marked Concept and Development Work 2022 to early 2024, and it was part of a very specific artist website. Now, from there, basically it was assumed that these designs of characters like Robert Downey Jr. as Doom, Star-Lord, She-Hulk, and the new Black Panther, along with some of those young Avengers, well, that would play directly into what we were going to see in the upcoming films. But it turns out that really might not be the case. Now, recently, Joe and Anthony Russo were doing an interview with the team at The Hollywood Reporter, and since they are currently neck deep in both Avengers films, they are the best source. This is one of those things when I say take it with a grain of salt. Well, in this case, it's coming from one of those official sources. Now, the guys at The Hollywood Reporter asked the Russo brothers, and they both had pretty direct answers. Now, Joe Russo said, and I quote, "No, because that artwork was not from Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars." With Anthony Russo adding, "Nothing spoiled in there, that's not our concept art." What this means is this is probably stuff that was getting passed around the office and ideas that artists were throwing around. But, Marvel really went out of their way to kind of slap down people posting this art. That's why we didn't make a video out of it and even hit people with DMCA strikes, so they weren't playing around. That's the standard operating procedure for Marvel and Disney. So really, we shouldn't be surprised about that, but their reaction appeared to show somebody that was a little bit worried. Now, personally, this makes a lot of sense because we do know the Russos are still developing the Doomsday film. Whatever concept art is being developed along the way, I'm sure is being kept under lock and key. And since that other art was developed in early 2024, well, the Russos weren't named until Comic-Con. So I am generally believing what they're saying here. Now, does this mean we won't see a version of Battleworld similar to what we saw in that art, or the Young Avengers, or Champions as they're going to call them? Well, that's probably still completely up in the air, and I wouldn't be surprised if we got some similar concepts. But the Russo brothers would have developed that after they returned to Marvel, not before, and all this art was dated previous to their arrival. Now, they are getting in front of cameras this year, but I'm not expecting a lot. It's all going to be shot on sound stages, and the Russos and Marvel are definitely going to go out of their way to allow nothing to leak. Marvel is depending on these two movies to bring the magic back to the MCU that really has been lacking since Endgame. There have been some great movies, just hasn't quite been the same, and after the big success that was Deadpool and Wolverine, well, they got a little bit of their mojo back, and despite some lackluster returns on Captain America 4, the Thunderbolts looks like it's going to carry the energy forward into Fantastic Four, so Marvel might be on the right path. What Joe and Anthony Russo do, though, we're going to have to wait and see. Now, before you take off, though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. We do daily videos, and we want to be your place for all the Marvel and DC news, but we're going to bring it to you truthfully and transparently, so you're really in the know.